right, Curt, big trade, obviously. Just what was the thinking behind that move?
Yeah, certainly always hard to give up a good player. And Liz was, fantastic, really professional with us. Her strength for us was really rebounding the basketball. We understand losing Liz, we have to fill that void of how good of a rebounder, how productive of a rebounder she's been in her career. Ultimately, the balance between now and the future is something that you're always trying to look at as a GM, and certainly building for the future. Not often that a first round pick, especially coming out of an NCBA, is available, and so we are excited about having 3 first round picks now over the next 2 years. But never easy to give up a player like Liz, and again, she was just a tremendous professional while we had her.
How did those conversations go? I mean, the team has started to come together. It played really well over the last couple of weeks, especially. Obviously a move like this can disrupt chemistry, but also, like you said, looking towards the future.
Yeah, it's never easy, especially with us dealing with all the injuries that continue to hamper us. But obviously you can't control when trades are available and when they're happening, and so our conversations came about very, very quickly with Vegas, and we thought it was a good opportunity. I'm a big believer in trades can benefit 2 teams. My favorite trade as a GM in the league was trading Chelsea Gray for JJ. And you could argue that maybe the best trade in the history of our league that benefited 2 teams. Ultimately, Chelsea went on to win a championship in LA. JJ helped us be, the winningest team in the regular season over a 6-year stretch. Ultimately became the lowest drafted MVP in the league, and how important JJ was to our build and our sustained success in Connecticut. I look at that as a win-win trade, and in this trade, I think can help both teams where we're at currently.
What do you think about the progress of the team is moving forward the last several years?
Yeah, I'm really, really excited. We had a conversation in Vegas as we were going into our 12th game, and a lot of times coaches, organizations break up seasons into quarters, just like how you play on a game. And we didn't have a great first quarter, but we went and huddled, and just like you would do during a game, you can't take back that first quarter. You understood that it wasn't a great first quarter, but there's still a second, a third, and a fourth quarter. If you look at our 7 games in this, what we view as the second quarter, we had an opportunity to be 7-0. We're 4-3 with a disappointing loss at Vegas with a late lead, an overtime loss in Washington, and a game where we came all the way back against Indiana and had a lead with 5 minutes to go in the game. So legitimately in this second quarter, you could argue you could be 7-0, but we're 4-3 and really pleased with how we've rebounded from that first quarter start into this second quarter of games.
That loss in Vegas was tough. You had the lead, you lost it, dropped to 11-1. How worried?
1-11, but
I'm sorry, 1-11. How worried were you then, and how have you felt about the response since that?
Yeah, I think, very candidly, we had conversations with our team. I started in this league in 2015 with an LA team that had Candace Parker, Nneka Ogwumike, Christy Tolliver, Elena Beard, Tamika Johnson, Jantel Lavender. That team started out 3-13. And by the end of the year, we were the hottest team in the league, and ultimately in that era of games, the winner of the Western Conference between LA and Minnesota was going to win the championship, and we came up short in the Western Final. But that team rebounded from a 3-13 start. I also shared with the team that my first head coaching job in this league at Connecticut, we had Jasmine Thomas, who's here with us. We had Camille Smith, Camille Little, who is here with us. We also had Alyssa Thomas, Chinea Ogwumike. We had that rookie class of Jonquel Jones, Courtney Williams, Rachel Banna, Morgan Tuck. That team also started out 3-13, and by the end of the year, finished really, really strong over the last 12 games. That gave us the momentum to be the winningest team over the next 6 years in the regular season. We shared those 2 stories, that I was a part of teams that have started slow, and while we didn't make the playoffs my first year in Connecticut, the way we finished really gave us momentum into that next 6-year stretch where we were a contender each and every year. And so we talked about, like it's a long season still to go, and they've really responded in this second quarter of games. And I think it's eye-opening when they hear the people that were a part of those teams that also had tough starts. Maybe they took a deep breath and realized that, we have all we need. We are what we are. And, they've embraced the next person up mentality right now as we're dealing with an uncanny amount of injuries. Considering we've played without 5 or 6 players the other night out, just really pleased with how they've responded.
What do you like about the front court versatility with Lee, Luisa, and Teaira going forward?
Yeah, we got size. Obviously, really excited about Lee. I had an opportunity to coach her. She's a young present. You see her bond already with Paige. What is underrated about her is she's a tremendous screener. She's got very underrated feet. And she can, stretch the floor. So excited about that. Teaira back, you can feel an energy with her back with a good performance for Turkey. We've got size in that position. I think the unintended consequence of trying to maneuver through 5 post players that can all deserve minutes, that all would have liked to play. Our move now opens up even more minutes for Luisa, opens up minutes for Maisha, and so look forward to watching those 4 and our rotation in the post. But we got versatility within that group, inside out. Luisa and Lee more outside, and then T inside, and Maisha a little bit of both. So I'm excited to see how we bond with that post group moving forward.
How about Pierce's development in his first year as an NBA?
Yeah, just it's never easy, right? You move over 6 inches. But pleased with how he stayed the course. One of the things that makes him special is he's never too high, never too low. And he's, just continued to try to set the tone of this second quarter of games. And, even despite our injuries and people out and people gone at qualifying tournaments, we have been really, really competitive as we've shared over those last 7 games. And so appreciate his, come to work every time. I thought I worked a lot of hours. I get to the office before 7 a.m. and he's 2 cups of coffee already in at the office. So I appreciate the grind mentality despite all the hardships and the up and downs that have come with this season.
You guys, obviously, you've mentioned it multiple times. I've had a ton of injuries. You have a roster spot available now, I believe. Is that something that you foresee adding another player?
Yes, we will sign someone before Thursday's game. We are in those discussions currently. Look forward to bringing that person in, and we may need them, or we're in the range of potential forfeit with how many injuries we have and what they will or will not allow you to play with. So we need that 12th roster spot signed, and we anticipate that before Thursday.
You got to deliver the All-Star news to Paige yesterday. What can you say about how her debut has gone and how it's been?
Yeah, just proud of her. Certainly a generational talent. I think her greatest gift is she makes everyone better around her. She's a humble superstar. We've all seen how good she is in the mid-range and how efficient she is offensively. But she's also, a tremendous rebounder, a tremendous passer, such an underrated defender, longer than people realize, gets her hands on balls, blocked shots, steals. She's just, has had a remarkable start with a lot of pressure and coming off a very long collegiate season where, chasing that national championship for her, you can't imagine what the weight on her shoulders must have felt like. So for her to be a starter, she joins an elite group of people that have started their rookie season in the All-Star game. So super proud, and she's got such a bright future.
How do you think she's handled the rough start, considering she didn't lose much in college?
Yeah, I think that's an adjustment for any of these WNBA players. The reason there's a lottery, there's building teams or there's established teams, and usually the great superstars coming out of the collegiate game are superstars on winning teams, and they're joining teams that are in a build mode. So it's always an adjustment for young superstars in this league because they're not used to losing ever, at any level that they've been at. And so all you got to do is keep showing up for work, put yourself in position, and the wins will come and the growth will come. But she's had a great attitude through this all.
Hey, Curt, before the season, you guys obviously added a number of really solid players. The team has struggled for the most part. This trade signals a rebuild. Do you envision this new rebuild being a short-term process, or is this more of a long-term type of rebuild, you think?
You know, I think two things can be true. You know, we're going to compete and put ourselves in position to try to win each and every night. At the same time, you know, there's already tons of work going on behind the scenes in preparation for an unprecedented free agency coming up. There's already work being done, even though the collegiate season's not in season, at looking and preparing and talking about the next couple drafts. So there's always an eye on the future, but at the same time, we are trying to put our team in position to win and win right away. But we do like the youth that we're adding and have available. You know, even to the fact that no one talks about a walk career anymore, and such a young, dynamic piece that's a part of our future also is just exciting to think about.
Big roster move yesterday. How do you know, talking with Curt, balancing the future while still wanting to keep a good thing going in the present, how do you feel about the opportunity to improve the team down the line while maybe having to deal with chemistry issues now?
Yeah, just trust the front office vision and thank Melissa for everything that she did for our group and this organization while she was here, and wish her nothing but the best.
What's it been like for you just navigating all the roster changes from a basketball standpoint, but then also just emotionally?
It's a challenge, but that's part of the job, is to whoever is here on that day, help us fit together, right, on and off the court, to create culture and to get the best out of everyone individually and collectively as a leader, right? Just trying to get everyone together, moving in the same direction, pursuing a united vision and a united goal, and deal with all the adversity that comes your way.
What are some ways you can maximize or take advantage of the size and versatility that you have with the front court players?
Yeah, totally. Definitely have to play inside out. You know, it's good balance now. We know we have dynamic guards, and now, you know, we've got T coming back, Luisa, you've got Lee there, Maisha. Good size in the post. So, you know, just got to be intentional about getting the ball down there and making people have to defend us without fouling, right? We've struggled to defend without fouling, but we've got to see if teams can guard us without fouling. And then also, too, like, I think that loosens up the guards as well. Get some touches down there, and now get some action off the post. You know, it could be a good way to get our guards some freedom and some space as well.
Can we back up and talk a little bit about the last game that you played? Very quick tempo. They seem to really gel very well. Can you talk a little bit about what went into the makeup of just getting it done?
Yeah, get it done, next woman up, right? That was our mentality going in, next woman up. And so, you know, with JJ inserted into the starting lineup, you knew the tempo was going to be a little bit higher just naturally with her speed and pace. But really excited with, you know, her performance. And again, as I continues here over these last 7 games, to be a consistent spark and give us another offensive weapon. But everyone contributed. Maisha's been a spark off the bench in these past 3 games since he's come off the bench. She's just had a different energy about her. So I've just loved our grittiness and our toughness and ability to kind of scratch and claw and pull things out.
Enrique didn't practice today. Can you share anything what she's dealing with? Or?
Hurt her hand in that game there. So just being extremely cautious and waiting for more news from the medical team on what that looks like long term.
It looked like a thumb thing? Or?
Yeah, thumb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Paige is an all-star starter. What is your reaction, and just what have you seen from her that makes her deserving of that?
So proud of her. Just extremely proud and happy for her. She deserves it. She's just scores it all. She just deserves it. She puts the work in, and it's cool to see her recognized by her peers, you know, that they have that respect for her already. So, I mean, you see it out here. The game is slow for her. It's slowing down every single game. Asking her to do a ton right now. There's a ton on her shoulders, right? Having her bring the ball up the floor every single time and then also score and also facilitate. And so how she's been able to handle that has just been extremely impressive.
How do you think she's handled the rough start for the team?
Yeah, she's just... Credit to Paige, like her mindset and her intention into the mental side of the game has she's resilient, and so she's not discouraged at all. She's in there. She's positive. She knows there's a larger vision here, and that you got to go through some of this tough stuff early to ultimately get to where you want to go. And so she's leading by example, and she is doing everything she can to shift it on and off the floor.
After that loss in Vegas, y'all are 1-11. You'd given up a lead in the fourth quarter. How worried were you then, and what have you thought of sort of the way the team has kind of bounced back since then?
Yeah.
Gotten on a bit of a winning track.
Yeah, it just speaks to our, again, it hasn't been pretty, but our resilience, our grit, our fight. You let that one slide away in Vegas, and then you come right back and you respond and you go win a game. And then we lose one on the road in Washington. But we don't feel bad for ourselves. We come back, we turn right around, we win another one. And then we go and we lay an egg in the first quarter, and we scratch and claw, and we take a lead in the fourth quarter against Indiana, but unfortunately we don't get to the finish line. But then we turn around the very next day and we win a game at home. So that speaks to their just short-term memory and their competitiveness and their fight. And so when you have that at your core, we can fix some of the basketball stuff. But we've got a bunch of dogs and a bunch of fighters who aren't going to give up.
How have you kept your spirits up?
Yeah.
It's a difficult start.
Yeah, I have to. That's my job, is to continue to lead and continue to show them the ultimate vision and where we want to get to, and just lead with an optimism and a positivity. And I lean on our staff, lean on our front office, and starts with me. I'm going to point the finger at myself first. I'm going to take the blame and know that I can always be better for them. And so I'll lead by example in taking the brunt of whoever says whatever, but knowing that I'm working as hard as I can to help this team and help this group.
There's been plenty. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Curt mentioned that Teaira, there's a sense of being re-energized coming off EuroBasket. Just what did you see from her, in today's practice, and what can players maybe take from that EuroBasket experience that we're over there and bring it over?
Yeah, I think she was 3 for 3 from the arc, so we're going to be getting Teaira shooting some straight balls. But yeah, no, just excited for her to come back with her. Just physicality and, again, paint presence, just a consistent inside presence that is really hard to guard and can help us to continue to dominate the boards. I think, that this stretch here in June, we've been the number one rebounding team in the league, and that's been the difference. Offensively, it's not even close, and then defensively, we came a long way. In May, we were awful, and then we figured it out that we got a gang rebound, and really, it's simple. If you can really rebound and then not turn the ball over, you give yourself a chance in all these games. And so excited for T to come back and help us in those regards with some paint presence and some rebounding, and then some inside paint scoring. And then Luisa just coming off of missing some of their best players on that German team, and her having to step into an even bigger role on the floor and in a leadership role for her to perform the way she did. She's coming back with all sorts of confidence, and even before she left, you started to feel as she was starting to gel and find her footing here in the W.
It's actually good he asked that question. It leads into my question. So there's been a lot of times this year where you haven't had a lot of depth to work with. Now at the center position, you have 3, arguably 4 players who can play there. How do you go about navigating that amount of depth?
Yeah. That's my job, right? And it's not easy. Everyone wants to be out on that floor for as long as they possibly can. But we talk about it a lot, and you've seen it right now. We're all about our competitive depth, and you never know. Even though Mai's come off the bench the last 3 games, but she's played more minutes in those games than she did as a starter, and she's had more of an impact. So, again, the way we start is just the beginning of how we want to sub, and then you see whose night it is, and you roll with what's working, and our team is really buying into that. And so I think we've come a long way from the beginning, and everyone's kind of buying into everyone can contribute, and whose night is it going to be.
With the All-Star weekend coming up in a couple of weeks, and with you guys building momentum, will you continue to keep that intensity, or will they take a break, or what's the plan?
It's not much of a break, right? I think they get 3 days, so we'll give them 3 days to be able to get away and refresh a little mentally and physically, and then we'll come back and we'll gear up for that crazy run to the end of the season, fast and furious.
You had mentioned high-low as an option. Just how can that help an offense control the ball more in terms of turnovers, and then how helpful will Maisha and Luisa's unselfishness and passing ability help maximize that style?
Yeah, again, excited for, I thought Lou was starting to really feel the offense and was a really good just connector of, when the initial actions broke down, able to get us to another action and change sides of the floor, and a really good, smart screener as well. So able to help our guards get some separation and create some advantages that way. And then again, you add T and the size, high-low. Yeah, it's simple basketball that is extremely hard to guard when you have the personnel. So we've got good post passers from the perimeter in Maisha, in Luisa, and you've got some good size down low in Teaira and in Lee. And so, you play inside out, and if they're going to stay home on the perimeter, then we can play one-on-one down there. And then as soon as the defense starts to collapse more, now it opens things up on the perimeter. So just finding the balance.
How was the experience, the Euro, when you went back for the...
It was fun. It was a lot of fun being back with my teammates from German basketball. I mean, we wrote history again, which is a big thing for us, even though we missed some players, but it for sure was a great experience, fun being with them.
What do you make of the progress that the Wings have made while you've been away?
I actually followed and I watched some games, and it's been great to see that we progress, that we do step by step, like every game. It's fun. Like, honestly, I was happy to come back, find that flow, and hopefully help the team to secure more and more wins.
You'll have a new running mate with Lee Rue coming in. How do you see your games complementing each other?
I think we're both like inside-outside players. She can shoot the three-pointer. I can play from outside. I think I'm going to find her inside a lot. It's going to be fun. I think it's a good balance. I think now T being back too, like we just have big bodies down there, which is going to be fun to play with.
Going off that, have they told you your role with all these new centers on the team?
I don't think my role really changes because before that I was also playing outside a lot. So I don't think there's a lot of changes. And I mean, as I said, like I can play inside and outside, so I'm just going to adapt. I just want to do what the team needs.
Can I ask you a TCU question? You played with Claire
Yes.
Bielfield. Yeah, what can you tell TCU fans about her game and what they can be excited about her as the youngest player on that team?
She's so good. She's only 17 and she's so good. She played with us, like she was meant to be on that team, like she deserved that spot. Was super happy to play with her, to see how she progresses. I think she's going to be a big player at TCU. I hope she's going to improve a lot. And she's for sure going to come here. I already told her that she's going to come to some games. And yeah, as soon as like she needs anything, as soon as she touches down, I'm for sure going to meet her. And yeah, she's really excited. She's really, really excited.
How cool is that for you guys to both be in the city 20 minutes away from each other, both playing basketball, living out your dreams?
It's great. I hope that I can help her like acclimate. There we go. Thank you.
Gotcha.
And just help her to like step a foot to the U.S. or in the U.S. And just help her to arrive. I mean, I haven't been at college really, but I think it's still like you're still away from home. So I hope that I can just be maybe a person that she can reach out to if she needs something.
Since you played with the Wings and then you left and went back to what are you excited about bringing to the game at this time since you've been away and you played a different aspect of the game?
Honestly, I don't think that I need to bring a lot. I think we developed a lot. So I just want to step in and help and follow to improve on that, follow like the flow that we've been finding the past games, and just be another threat from the three-point line, offensively, but also defensively, getting more stops. But honestly, like we've been on a good run right now, so it's not really about changing anything or like stepping in and helping and doing something different. I think it's just like doing the same thing and helping the team to do what they need, to give what they need.
But you personally, do you feel like you'll be more powerful, or what are those extra things that you've said in your mind? When I go back, I'm going to be more.
I think I wanna find our posts down low a little bit more. I think if we find this inside-outside game, we're going to be unstoppable. We have a lot of threats, and I think then just like helping P and Reed to get easier shots. But yeah, I would say like these are the 2 points, and then rebounding down. I was like, I want to rebound a little bit more down there, so help them. Yeah.
You guys have been dealing with a ton of injuries, obviously, throughout, before you left, when you came back. How are you feeling? Because you played a lot of basketball. Obviously, travel, jet lag plays an impact, too, on your health.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying not to think about it a lot because of the thing, as soon as it's in your mind, it's happening. So,
Sorry.
no, don't worry. But I mean, I'm just going to play my game. I have the feeling as soon as you play, like, you're afraid to get into it, it's happening. So I don't really want to think about it. I'm trying to rest and get some treatment as much as I can. And then just play the basketball. I mean, you can't really control it.
What are you looking forward to on the defensive side of the ball, having multiple rim protection options to play alongside?
I mean, we are big. Honestly, like, we're super big right now, so I think it's going to be tough to hit the shots over us, to score over us, especially under the rim. It's going to be more aggressive, I think, and I think it's just good to have another big rim protector down there.
All right, Teaira, just tell us how the experience was, what you enjoyed about getting a chance to play in EuroBasket.
It was a good tournament for us. We went in, being the underdogs and just coming out. We got to the quarterfinals, which is pretty big for my team. It was a great tournament for us, so I was pretty proud of us being able to qualify and go to the World Cup and get seventh.
What are you looking forward to about being back with the Wings?
Just being back with my teammates, just getting acclimated again, seeing that the work that they put in the last couple of games, I'm pretty proud of them. Just trying to turn it around and get off to another great start.
How have you seen the Wings grow since the start of the season to now?
I think we're being more passive, finding each other on the open shots, playing together. I mean, the chemistry was a little off. I mean, bringing in so many new players is going to be like that, but we're turning around. We're figuring it out, so I'm pretty proud of them.
The team added Lee in your absence as well. What are you looking forward to playing with her? What have you seen in her game?
I love Lee's game. She's physical down on the post as well as stepping out shooting. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really happy for her to be here, and she seems pretty happy here. So that's the most important part.
And you guys have, there's been quite a stretch here of tough games. You guys have another tough one coming up on Thursday night. But, after seeing the team string together some wins, how are you feeling about what you guys are capable of accomplishing here over the next couple months?
My team's pretty confident right now, and that's all you really need is confidence. So we're just going to take that, and we're just going to go for what we know. And also just add me and Lou back and just bring in our confidence as well. So it's a confidence booster.
What are you looking forward to with the different combinations that are now possible with Lou, you, and Lee as well?
It's endless combinations. So I'm just curious to see how Chris puts us all together. But I think we play well off each other. We had a great day of practice today. So yeah, just ready to get to that.
What are some of the things maybe that you were able to work on in practice today? Just maybe getting familiar with all the pieces and everything.
Just learning the plays again. I feel like I was still in EuroBasket, so I was on those plays pretty hard. But now it's like I have to come back to what we started off. But I mean, just doing the high-low. I think that works with adding me, adding Lee, and then Lou's back into the lineup. With Lou and Lee being our facilitators up top. So I think that's a great piece that we have.
There's been quite a few roster changes, even in the time when you were gone. What's it like just adjusting to that from a playing perspective and even just emotionally?
At the end of the day, it is a business. I mean, you hate to see them go and you love to see people come, but you just have to know, you can't relax. Not saying anybody relax, I'm saying you can't just be, lax, chilling, thinking you're okay. So, I mean, yeah, it's a business at the end of the day. It sucks, but that's what it is.
You mentioned all the roster changes to start the season. What are the challenges of that? You touched on the idea that it takes time. What are the challenges? What makes it take time to kind of get a new roster sorted?
Once you get comfortable with one piece and it's that piece is now taken out, so now you got to try to fill in that hole. I think that's the part that's but it's like adversity. Adversity is always going to hit in life now. So just you have to figure it out and just keep pushing forward.